there he is, the former president. Let's listen.
President Trump, how did you plead? President Trump. Everyone is to stay put.
And there you have it.
Really? This video is brought to you by TatumStore.com. TatumStore.com. Get the merch link in the description section. Get you one of these shirts to support Donald Trump. Like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you get notifications anytime I go live and make a video. Make sure you still subscribe to this channel. Like this video. Comment on this, share this video. Let's get into this, just so you know it's on pre-order. Now let's talk about Donald Trump's charges, because I knew for a fact they were going to do this. I knew they didn't have anything. I knew they were going to do this. Now let me explain it to you. When you see something like 30 plus counts, as a law enforcement officer or a person who's an attorney, you know that somebody's ramping it up and they running it up unjustifiably. Most of the times when you have a person that has a serious conviction, or you want to get a serious conviction, they have serious charges, you would only see 1 or 2 charges. And those charges are weighed heavily. When you see 30-some counts, 30-some felonies, what they do is they try to, instead of charge you with an overall crime, they try to charge you a crime for every instance that this occurred. And in Donald Trump's case, I'm just going to read the first charge to you, because every charge is almost identical. The violations it's literally falsifying business records in the first degree. It's pretty much every single charge that I'm looking at on here, 30 plus charges. I got the affidavit right here in my hand. Falsifying business records in the first degree. Every single count is falsifying business records in the first degree, all from penal code or penal law 175.10. All of them come from the same statutory section. So that should tell you right there that they're trying to run it up, which I don't think it looks good in the court of law, and I don't think that a jury could actively find him guilty on all of these different charges. If you want a man to try to go to prison for the rest of his life and run it up, this is what you do. So when you look at it, and I'll make it clean for you, most of it is invoices for Michael Cohen, and then inappropriate ways of, I would say, establishing them in the ledger. So I'll give you an example. Just say I had a person working for me, but they weren't really working for me. It was a friend of mine that I paid $200,000 a year to. And I was doing it because if I pay $200,000 for services, that's a business expense. I don't have to pay taxes on it. But the guy isn't really rendering any service to me. He's just my homeboy that I'm just paying just because. Now in a general sense, my engagement with him would typically be a crime, right? It's a felony falsifying of a business record. And then if I gave him a check, then that transfer of money is a falsification of money. So the ledger is wrong, which means I identified it wrong, and then I paid him money. Normally what they would do is they would say all the instances will be wrapped into one. All of the payments will be wrapped into one payment. And what they're doing in this situation is that, just say I paid them 24 checks in 1 year. Every check I sent, they make it a separate charge. And then every time I put in my ledger that this was a business expense, then they're going to charge me separately for that. And this appears, from what I'm looking at, is the way they did Donald Trump, which is a clear sign that this is 100% political.
Donald Trump was arraigned on a New York Supreme Court indictment returned by a Manhattan grand jury on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records in the first degree. Under New York state law, it is a felony to falsify business records with intent to defraud and an intent to conceal another crime. That is exactly what this case is about. 34 false statements made to cover up other crimes. These are felony crimes in New York State, no matter who you are. We cannot and will not normalize serious criminal conduct.
And I would argue, if Donald Trump was actually guilty, right, his lawyers ain't got time to play games with him. This is the precedent that's been set. This is the first president of the United States, former president, that have been charged in any form or fashion in this manner. If he was actually guilty, which means that it was going to be an upward hill to climb, the evidence that presented is going to indict him, or not indict him, is going to convict him. If his lawyers knew, Donald Trump would enter into a plea deal. so he can do no time in prison. He'll plead and be done with the case. Why would a lawyer do that? Because if they know you're going to lose, you can face up to 100 plus years and 100 years in prison. Now, if you know that you're going to win, you'll fight it. Now, here's the premise of, I know I'm going to lose, I'm going to get into a plea deal. I know I may lose because it's a kangaroo court and I don't feel like I have good chances. Enter into the plea deal, do no jail time, explain to your people I entered into a plea deal because if I go to trial, they're going to screw me. Donald Trump could have easily done that and could have easily been running off of that message all the way to 2024. It makes me feel very confident that Trump and his team know that he's not going to be found guilty, so they're going to fight it in court. And I'm telling you, y'all, I was thinking that if I saw some charges on here that I thought were legitimate, that could actually be something sustainable, I would tell you. Because I don't need to play biased. You know, to be honest, I kind of like Ron DeSantis' idea, but I'm going to stand up for right when right is presented. And I think that this is bullcrap. Let me tell you two more reasons why I think that this is not going to go anywhere. Michael Cohen is a witness to testify against Trump. He has no reputation. He has every incentive to lie, cheat, steal, do whatever he can to mitigate his time in prison. You cannot use a person who's cooperating with the law to indict another person as a legitimate testimony. You can put him up there, but the jury is not going to find favor, or they're not going to find favor in the jury of Michael Cohen's testimony. And then if there's somehow they want to bring Stormy Daniels into this to prove that Michael Cohen actually made the payment, she has zero reputation. She's literally making a claim against Donald Trump, and nobody has respect for her. Everybody knows if the man had done something wrong to you, why don't you just go the legal route, or why don't you just go out and tell the world instead of taking money to hush about it? You know you ain't worth a dime. Reputation gone. Who else is there to then testify in a meaningful way against Donald Trump on these trumped up charges, no pun intended? There's nobody there. And I'll tell you this, it would be easy for Trump to appeal even if he was found guilty. Why? Because how do you have an impartial, fair trial when you were the president of the United States of America? There's nobody on planet Earth that say, I don't know who the president was. And in many cases, that's why presidents and stuff don't get tried like this, because it's impossible to not have a biased trial. Because you say you can do a rapper, right? You have a rapper up there, the jury's like, I've never heard of A$AP Rocky. I never heard of 21 Savage. I have no idea who that person is. Then they can be accepted on a jury pool. But not one person in America can say, hey, I've never made a comment on social media about the presidential election, whether they are for Trump or against Trump. I've never made comments. I never had an opinion. I don't even know who the president was. Nobody on planet Earth, especially not in New York where Donald Trump is from, can provide an impartial jury. So this is going to be very troubling and trying for the state of New York, and I think it's bullcrap. I think Donald Trump is going to win this thing. This is another shot in the dark, and when he come out, he is for sure going to be the front runner of the Republican Party. He is for sure going to win the presidency of 2024. That's just my prediction, because I don't care what I think about Trump. I don't care how many times he made me mad. Them doing this to him make me want to vote for him even more. I ain't gonna lie, it make me want to vote for him more. I hope he win, and we just go to work on these people who try to drag him down with nefarious purposes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got to get on the radio show. Y'all hold the phone. I'll see you on the next video. If you enjoyed this video, I put out 3 videos a day, so make sure you go to the playlist that says new video and watch more videos. Subscribe to this channel. Let's go, baby.